Hey guys, this is Ryan, Tokyo FunHunter, coming at you from Tokyo, Japan. It's the usual morning vlog. I got my cup of coffee, so thank you. Today we're going to talk about snowboarding in Japan, and it is getting freezing right now in Japan. Great time to go snowboarding. This video is for people that may not have been snowboarding in Japan, want to find out maybe some cool little locations and kind of what it's all about. And so my experience in Japan so far is I've been snowboarding here. I think my first time was about 8 years ago, and have been doing it pretty routinely every winter. Last winter I went 3 different times, which was a lot of fun. There was one time where I had to literally run through the ticket barrier onto the train just to make it. That's a different story for a different time. But basically, snowboarding culture in Japan is drastically changing right now, and it's very interesting because like a lot of the things you see in Japan is it of course has its own culture, and at the same time there's a Western influence too. And Western influence is the winter sports in general are becoming very more popular, and you see that spilling over right now. So first thing is maybe the snow. Okay, snow in Japan, the mountains are not as high as places I've been to. I'm from Southern California. I've been to Big Bear, Snow Valley, Mammoth Mountain, a lot of great places around there. And Mammoth is way bigger and like just mega mountain. Japan, unfortunately, does not have as big as mountains. You're going to take short runs. However, the snow itself is super light, super nice. You get lots of cool powder. It's a great way, if you're a powder fan like I am. If they're actually pretty strict about going through the trees. But if you at least know, don't go, if you don't know the area, don't go through the trees. Wait to go down the mountain a few times so you can scope it out. But if you find a few in between runs, so you make sure there's a run below it and a run above it, so you know that okay, if I get to the end of this tree line, I can get back onto the main pathway. Go through those trees. It's really cool. I think I have some videos from last year that I'll upload of me and my friends snowboarding and things like that. I'm planning on going snowboarding next week as well. But Japan, snowboarding and skiing have become, I feel like, more of a fashion than really the actual act of doing it. I go to the mountain, and I've seen a lot of people improve in the last couple of years. It's also become more crowded. I've seen a lot more people improve, but it's still I see people walking around with a giant snowboarding bag as a backpack around the station. And I had a friend, this is true, last year came up to me. He's wearing this giant backpack. I'm like, oh my god, are you going snowboarding? He's like, oh no, he was just wearing it as a fashion statement because it's known to be cool. It's hip. It's more like a more outdoorsy type of thing, and it's now becoming the new thing. Same thing with they love California kind of surfer, that kind of image, and in the wintertime they like to do the same thing with snowboarding. So they buy so much gear, all different types of Mammut, Burton, North Face, all these different types, huge designer and really expensive gear. And they use it one time. So it's it's interesting to me how that works. Anyway, if you're by Tokyo and you've never been snowboarding, a big place I recommend is Hakuba. Hakuba is really cool. You could either take the bus or you could take the train. I prefer the train personally. It is more expensive, but it's a lot more of a comfortable ride. I've done both. I've done the bus and the train. When I was a student, I took the bus. The overnight bus, I won't spoil it for you, but you'll never forget it. It is worth at least one try. But usually that could be, like $20, whereas the train could be maybe $40 or $50. But the train, at least you have more space. It's open. You usually during the daytime. It's just a much more comfortable ride. And with friends, you can play, talk, play games. You're allowed to have beers on the train, which is awesome, as well as the way back. It's always a good way to end the trip. So also snowboarding culture is in Japan. They have the onsen or hot springs. Now, onsen and hot springs, if you haven't seen any of these videos before, is where you go into a natural hot spring or a hot bath, Japanese style, and relax. It's a way of like kind of detoxifying a little bit. You're supposed to take a bath before you go in, get in the hot bath, relax, soak up. Usually they have certain like bath salts and oils and scents going on, but it's a good way to relax and experience, like, you know, especially after Japan's cold is different than like if you're in America right now. It's different from that type of cold. It's a much more bone chilling cold. It really seeps through your like clothes. I don't know how to describe it, but you get colder fast, and a lot of it has to do with like same with the humidity. Humidity, you know, America's a very, you know, California's a very dry area, so it's a dry cold. Here it's a very like wet cold, so it gets really like underneath your skin a little bit and can get freezing. So taking a bath afterward, good way to relax, rejuvenate, you know, level up the temperature. Snowboarding skills, it's gotten more crowded in Japan. You see a lot more people now. It's becoming kind of a, you know, a routine thing. You know, I'd say like maybe when I first went, very rare. You know, not as rare. There were still slopes and everything. Good thing is it's also a lot cheaper in Japan. Super cheap. You know, it's maybe like $30 a day, which is unbelievable. When I come from like California, where it's like $150 a day, it's like 5 times as much. But in Japan, obviously the mountains are a lot lower. You got to get a lot more runs in. But the powder is really, really fun. A lot of cool. You know, people are. It's the same kind of like, you know, snow bunny, snow culture, where it's like everybody's drinking at the lodge, take breaks, have fun. People are way more open in Tokyo. You know, sometimes if you're riding the train, people are a little bit more closed off. They kind of want to keep to themselves. But if you're riding like a gondola, they love it. It's like their permission factor to kind of just start being outgoing, and they love to talk to foreigners. They like to like practice their English. It's a cool way to make new friends. I've exchanged numbers with a few people. You know, made some new friends back in Tokyo as a result of like riding up the gondola together and just kind of sharing like you know, country information, culture, and everything. So it is totally worth it to try some snow sports. You know, I've done snowshoeing tours as a guide. I've done snowboarding as a guide. Taught snowboarding. So I would recommend, if you're living by Tokyo, I would go to Hakuba. There's a bunch of other places in northern Hokkaido and in a lot of other areas. Some are a little bit farther to get to, but they're worth looking into. But yeah, I kind of prefer Hakuba. Hakuba's got about 3 different mountains. It's kind of like the closest one, I believe. Trying to think of any more information. I think that's pretty good. Anyway, definitely try out snowboarding in Japan. It's really cool. If you go, you definitely will know what I mean by kind of like that fashion culture, where they need everything bright, colorful, and it's kind of like they wear like top brand stuff, even if it's their first time. It kind of throws me for a loop. You know, I've been wearing the same gear for the last like 10 years, and I still use it. I still get a lot of you know, longevity out of it. But definitely check it out. Snowboarding in Japan is a lot of fun. I'm gonna be going soon, so wish me luck. It's gonna be really cool. We're basically, my friend's Japanese family has a lodge up there. We're renting out, so we're gonna be able to stay up there with like a group of 10 friends, and you know, just basically do barbecues, beers, snowboarding all day. We're gonna do it. They have a car at least, so we're doing like, you know, the road trip style. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for watching. Please check out our other videos. Subscribe to our channel, and check out our description for other things going on and businesses we're doing right now. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll tune in next time. Okay. Peace.